What a day.
It has been one of them. It hasn't been.
It's been
bad.
another day. Just another one in the books.
Yeah.
Another one going by.
I didn't do a whole lot today, being honest.
Yeah, it didn't seem like it. But that's okay. Sometimes you have to do that.
Yeah, it happens every now and then.
Bear fact us. You were pretty excited about this one.
That was pretty quick. You want to get into bear facts that fast?
Well, I don't know. You got something you want to say? Or do you just want to do bear fact? Well, you were talking about IQ earlier.
Yeah, it was. Let's go with our bear fact. Grizzly bears have enough bite force. Grizzly bears have a bite force of over 8 million pascals, which is enough to crush a bowling ball. And then what I was doing as the intro was going on is figuring out the conversion of pounds to pascals or vice versa.
No, I want to know how many newtons of force that is.
Okay.
Because that's the only way that it translates to me. All I know is newtons.
All you know is newtons?
Just newtons.
All right, let's figure out pascals to newtons. 1 pascal is equivalent to 1 newton of force applied over an area of 1 meter squared.
Did you understand that?
So they're the same thing, just different sizes.
No, the newton is just... Well, actually, I think the pascal is just a direct form of measuring force, but then the newton's over an area. I mean, would you say 1 meter squared?
Yeah, so you probably have to shrink that down a little bit and do some more math.
Right.
Because their mouth is probably only I don't know.
But man, it's enough to crush a bowling ball.
Yeah, it's enough force. Who knows if their mouth can actually get around one.
But isn't the middle of a bowling ball like cement?
No, they're all
They're not hollow.
they're not hollow. They're solid.
Yeah, they're solid. I'm almost positive it's concrete. But there's a difference between concrete and cement, but I don't know the difference between the two at this moment.
I can't use my index finger to type, and it's kind of annoying.
Yeah, your finger's still messed up. How's the hole?
It's fine. Bowling balls are made of 4 main different types of cover stock plastics: urethane, reactive resin, and particle.
Particle?
Particle.
Is that what it says?
Particle with parentheses proactive. It's made out of particle.
Man, those wahoos that invented bowling balls.
Basically like plastic some sort.
Just trying to trick you so you can't make your own bowling balls. You think you'd ever be that guy that hangs out at the bowling alley and brings his own bowling balls in a little sack?
I mean, if I was good at bowling and I had a nice bowling ball to bowl with, probably. Would you bring your own shoes?
I think that would be the only thing I'd bring. Just because
Sometimes bowling shoes are so uncomfortable.
they can be.
They have no support.
They're very thin. It's just like a piece of leather.
And then they're worn by
Oh, yeah.
thousands of people.
But here's the thing, though. What's nice about having larger feet is that no one usually wears the size 14 bowling shoes. So they're decently broke in usually, but not that bad. But they are pretty uncomfortable.
You're a freak.
Well, who else is going to order the 14 bowling ball shoes?
You and 2 other people.
Exactly.
You and Sam.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
He wears like a 14, 15, 16.
Yeah, he's got some big feet. That's crazy.
Yeah, there was one time in school, we were sophomores, and he was like, we were in baseball and we were going over shoe size or something like that. And he was like, yeah, I wear a 16. Everyone was like, shut the fuck up. No, you don't. And he pulled the shoe off and showed the tag and it said 16. They're like, okay, yeah, you wear a 16. Where's your toe? His toe went to the end. His toe filled a 16. It was like,
Were they European shoes?
he had to get them ordered online because he went in store and they didn't even have up to that size. So he just had to order them out of supply.
It's hard enough finding shoes at 14.
I'm 12. I think 12 is a good number.
12 is a good number. Sometimes, because the worst thing for me is socks.
Oh,
Because
you always stretch out my socks.
well, that's the thing is, if you ever go to anywhere, you can go to Dick's or Academy or wherever you decide to go buy socks. They don't ever have the large size. They just have smalls and mediums,
Yeah,
and whatever socks that you're trying to get. So, if I'm wearing the mediums, I think they're like sizes 8 through 12.
Yeah, they
They'll-
go up to 8 to 12. And
They'll fit okay, but if I wear them
For a few
regularly,
hours.
for not even a few hours, but if I just wear them regularly, I'm gonna put holes in them. I just stretch them out. I can't do it.
Yeah, and every pair of sock you own has a hole in the big toe.
Not every pair, but I would say the socks I've had for a little while, yeah,
70%,
they're gonna have holes in them because they're not the right size. I have to order those things online. And I'm lucky that the last pair of shoes I got, I didn't have to order them online either.
Nice.
Yeah. I had to drive pretty far to go find some place that had shoes that size.
What's your favorite? What's the most comfortable shoe to you? Like brand?
It depends on the type of shoe,
That is true.
but I had a pair of Asics not that long ago, maybe when I was in like my freshman or sophomore year of high school. Those are pretty comfy. The shoes I got on now are really comfy.
Some New Balance 990s.
Yeah, what I like about them is that New Balance makes a really wide shoe, so they're really
Yeah,
nice
I
and
was gonna say.
comfy for my foot. Yeah,
New Balance is really comfortable to me.
yeah.
They were my favorite cleat for baseball.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They made the best cleats.
You know, New Balance, you get into basketball and make some basketball shoes.
I'm sure they have.
I don't think so.
Really?
I've never seen a New Balance basketball shoe
Well, they just got to get someone famous.
wearing New Balance. I mean, New Balance is all over baseball. I know that
Yeah.
Francisco Lindor was their sponsor for a long time, and I had those New Balances before these. Those like trainer shoes. You had a pair of them too, yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Those were super comfy. I like those a lot.
Yeah, turf shoes.
Almost a knockoff of the original Nike Free Runs. They're like kind of the integrity of the shoe isn't great. Like at the top, it's mostly just like
Oh yeah, I know exactly what shoe you're talking about. That was one of my favorite pairs of shoes.
it's almost. And then they did the Flyknit,
Yeah,
right?
I've never had a Flyknit shoe. I've tried them on at like Dick's or whatever. They don't really do it for me.
Yeah, I thought they were okay, like comfy wise.
They feel comfortable, but my foot's kind of loose. Like even though it's compressed down, like my foot will still like if I'm shuffling left and right, my foot will slide off the sole.
Yeah. I know what you mean. So why were you talking about IQ earlier?
I don't know. You said it was an outdated way to test intelligence, which
Oh,
I'm sure
it definitely is.
it's been around for a long time.
Yeah. 'Cause I think the IQ test was invented, I think, in the 20s, 30s, 40s, right in there, as a way for, I think it was a school trying to see if the students could be admitted into the school. And it doesn't measure creativity. It just measures like your ability, like the functionality of your brain to like identify patterns and stuff.
That's actually pretty spot on. In 1905, the first of these tests were developed by a French psychologist, Alfred Binet, it was for the French government to identify students who would face the most difficulty on certain subjects or something like that.
Right. And I remember, it was part of one of the psychology classes that I took that we learned about the IQ test, and it's not a very good way of seeing how intelligent someone is, because there's a lot of ways that you can be intelligent. Everyone's different. And some people's strengths aren't always common. They're not easily noticeable, and the IQ test doesn't really get into the creative side of people's strong suits.
Einstein's IQ was between 160 and 180. Average IQ in America is 100 or 98. But
98.
I round up.
Who'd you say had the highest average IQ? Singapore?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
Singapore.
country with the highest average IQ is Singapore, followed by Hong Kong and China.
I like how Hong Kong isn't considered China, even though it's in China. It's like a city state.
Bill Gates' IQ is 160.
They say that.
Yeah, that is true. What's Mark Zuckerberg's? 152.
You can just see everyone's IQ because they've decided to take an IQ test at some point in their life,
Steve Jobs is apparently 160.
and then they publish it.
Rowan Atkinson,
Oh, he's a smart guy.
178. Wow.
He's Mr. Bean.
He's he's top 1.1% of the highest IQs in the world. Crazy.
And so people that do well in the IQ test might not do very well on other tests.
Yeah.
So it's just some people have really strong emotional intelligence. Some people have really strong problem solving.
Who is the smartest person in the world? His name is William James.
Elon Musk.
William James Citus. They say he was the smartest man who ever lived, and his IQ is estimated to be 50 to 100 higher than Albert Einstein.
Estimated, so he's not currently living.
He was born in 1898, so I wouldn't say he's alive.
I would say there's a good chance he's not alive, but it's a possibility.
Odds are low,
Odds are pretty low, I admit.
but they are never zero.
What does it say? He's dead? I'm sure there's some kind of record of him dying, but anyways, it's not important. So then you said Singapore was the most, then Hong Kong, and then China as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
So Hong Kong would be second, just by itself, the city of Hong Kong.
Elon Musk's IQ is 155.
What a guy.
What a guy. What did you say before that? I wasn't listening. I was reading.
That's okay. I wasn't saying anything important.
I know.
It's usually what happens. I just go on a tangent. Yep, and I just go for it.
We nailed it.
But then we were also talking about, it's so hard to trust information, especially when it comes from other countries.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's an IQ test or it's COVID reports or it's whatever.
Carbon emissions.
Yeah, carbon emissions for sure. It's hard to trust that information because, they don't want to look bad on the world scale, so they can just fudge the numbers if they really want to, and they have the manpower to do it.
And who's going to stop them?
Exactly. I mean, the authority isn't really present.
Hey, man, you can't do that. It's not right. Someone get him out of here.
Exactly. Let's just start another war. We're declaring war on you because you fudged your numbers about your IQ tests. They called it the IQ war.
Oh, my God. There's a mosquito in here.
It's okay. It'll take care of itself.
I think it'll take care of us.
Did you do any skateboard tricks today?
Did not. I'm not allowed to, but I don't want to fall on my hands for right now. They're very sensitive to the touch.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because that's the thing about puncture wounds.
So have you been able to figure out if there was a clean hole straight through your finger?
No, what me and David came to the conclusion of is teeth on both sides.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
So, I mean, they could have gotten close to meeting because both sides of it, like, it's on the center of my right index fingernail.
Did you ever feel any tenderness in your bone?
I can feel the inside of my finger when I curl it.
I wonder if it went deep enough to where you could see your bone. Have you ever had like a...
Yes.
Really?
Remember,
oh,
see the
yes.
bone? Yeah, we were
The
outside.
pool.
Yeah, I was in second grade. It was like a summer day, and I was going into second grade.
We had just finished our driveway workout.
Yeah, and we got in the pool. And
We were getting in the pool.
there were pools. Pretty much every pool has pool skimmers, and those are those circles that you see on the side of the pool with like a lid, and you pull it up, and there's leaves in the basket. It's just they keep the pool clean. But our lid was on, but not in, so it moved around, and I was running around the side of the pool. I was second grade, and I stepped in it, and all my weight's going forward, so it just
Your foot sinks into the hole.
and my leg just like smashed against the ground and just split it straight open. Like you could,
That corner between the ground and the skimmer.
yeah, there was about a 3 or 4 inch long gash that went about an inch deep, and you could see the bone in my leg. And I remember, I like when I stepped out, I felt fine, and I looked down, and I was like, oh, that ain't right. That doesn't look right.
And I was so upset too because I wanted to go to Blockbuster that night and get a movie to watch.
Yeah, sorry for fucking up my leg.
Yeah. Spend the night in the hospital, you idiot.
I don't think I spent the night. I had to get 12 double knotted stitches, and I watched him put the fish hook in and the fish line go across every single hole.
Did they give you an anesthetic?
No.
No painkillers?
Dad was like, "You're not a bitch."
What?
I was just sitting there like squeezing the shit out of his hand every time
The needle.
But my leg, since it went through so much trauma, it was already in its own like natural numbness kind of state.
Sure. Maybe there's still some adrenaline
Yeah.
going through.
So I was able to feel it, but mostly just because I could see it. I was watching it happen the whole time. I'm sure if I wasn't looking, I wouldn't have felt it as much.
That's also the idea whenever you get surgery and stuff, they like put a cover over what you can see and what you can't. Because I remember when, I know this is gross, but my freshman year, I was playing basketball and I would get like an ingrown toe, and it was always my big toe. And it got to the point where it was really painful and I couldn't play basketball. So I had to get it surgically removed because the process of trying to like curve the toenail away from the nail bed is, I mean, I tried for months and it wouldn't work and it kept hurting. You know, knock on wood, they're both doing just fine right now. But the one on my right foot, I had to get it taken care of because it was so painful. And whenever they did surgery on it, they like put a drape basically at my hips so I couldn't see what they were doing to my foot. Because I guess there's some kind of psychological thing where if you can see what's happening, maybe it hurts more. But if you know, I think they numbed me up, or like they numbed up my toe at least before they did it. I mean, they literally went in and got scissors and just cut it out and then, you know, put a bandage around it.
Did it come back?
It hasn't come back yet. So
that's not real wood. That's real wood.
Okay, I'll knock on the real wood.
Just trying to make sure you're broken.
Well, it is real wood. The table's just made out of
it's like that
plywood.
Wood.
Yeah, it's like the wood chip wood that it's in most school desks that they just press together.
Exactly.
So it's the same kind of thing. But yeah, so yeah, maybe I'm surprised they didn't put something in front of you so that you couldn't see the stitches actually going through. Maybe you just weren't, you didn't care.
I was unfazed.
Totally unfazed.
Just looking at my leg like, huh.
But do you remember Blockbuster? Do you remember going into Blockbusters?
Oh my God. Are you kidding me? I remember taking the movie up to the side of the store when you return it and just put it in a little slot.
The little basket, little slot, and like literally on the outside of the building, you just push it through the slot, you return it.
Yeah.
And then Redbox came, and then Netflix. Actually, Netflix was first. People don't remember. It was Netflix. They weren't a streaming service. They would mail you movies. Remember, you get Netflix in the mail.
I remember that.
You remember the commercials for Netflix?
Yeah.
Where you would go online, and you would, you know, let's say I rent a movie, and they'd mail it to you, and then you'd mail it back.
That's like that. What was that? The gaming service.
GameFly.
GameFly.
It's the same concept.
I don't know if we're allowed to say this, but we stole Modern Warfare 3 from GameFly.
Did we?
We started the subscription, got Modern Warfare 3 or something, and then canceled the subscription.
I'm sure that they charged us for it.
Probably.
Yeah, so I'm not concerned about it. I mean, I haven't played that game in a long time.
Yeah, they're gonna be mad over their $7,
Well, $7 now. I'm sure it might have been like $20 back then.
which is the equivalent to like $25 now. I was making a joke about.
Yeah,
it
no,
first.
don't even worry about it. I got it. But yeah, it's weird because then Netflix and then Redbox and Netflix adapted and they did the streaming thing, and it was really the first of its kind. And everyone's like, "What in the heck, Netflix? This is so great." Blockbuster just got the back end of it, and I think Blockbuster might have tried to do its own streaming thing, where there's Blockbuster streaming. Let me see if I'm right about this, but I remember seeing something about it. Let's see. Yeah. Wait, you can go to blockbuster.com right now. Blockbuster video stores and on-demand movies. Since 2011, Blockbuster has been part of Dish, and you can still make it a Blockbuster night, in quotations.
Wow, that's good.
Continue the Blockbuster experience when you sign up for Dish and get access to thousands of new releases from the comfort of your home.
Wow.
So
It's not the
Blockbuster,
same.
yeah, Dish was like, all right, well, you know, it was like a pity, like whatever, that's fine, do your thing. But I remember going in there, and they had all. I mean, you could get games from there, you could get whatever you wanted. I vividly remember getting Predator, the movie from 1987, and watching that, and I was like, this is so cool. Love this movie. I think I watched it maybe twice. This was around the same time when we were doing the driveway workouts in the summer. Because I guess that was kind of like what we did as a treat. Like afterwards, we go get Blockbuster movie,
Mm-hmm.
and then no more. I think I've only ever rented maybe 2 things from a Redbox before.
I don't think I personally have, but I
I don't know.
we've played something from a. I remember we got, was it Advanced Warfare, and it was just the install disc.
I don't remember.
I
That
know-
sounds familiar.
I know we got a game at one point from Redbox, and it wasn't even the actual game. It was just the install disc, and we didn't have anything to play.
And it didn't work.
Like it was disc number 1 only. Like remember when games used to be 2 discs?
Yeah,
the
yeah,
first
yeah.
disc would download the game, and the second one would play it.
Yeah.
They only gave us the install disc.
And then you couldn't play it.
Yeah, yeah, I remember that.
I vaguely remember something like that.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was a while ago.
Fucking Redbox.
Yeah. Screw you, Redbox. When I was in Kansas in Garden City, there was a GameStop. There was a small GameStop there. And there was also a Walmart that had a Redbox. And what's nice to know now, or at least back then, this was what, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, that if you're ever going to get a game that you know you're going to finish in like a week, maybe 2 tops, that you should just rent it and then return it. Because there's those games that you can just play maybe 3 days in a row and you'll beat it and be done with it. Like if you were to play Spider-Man,
Yeah,
the PS4 game,
yeah.
if you played it straight for maybe like 3 or 4 days.
You would easily finish the story, and
You-
then it comes down to like if you want to do everything.
Right. So then at that point, it'd be like, okay, I just bought this game for $60 and now I'm going to take however much of a loss. You take it to GameStop and try and give it back. They'll probably say, oh, we'll buy it for $30.
$4.
No, they'd say like, yeah, $33, $34 will buy it from you. You're like, wow, I just lost half my money on this game and I played it for 3 days.
But if you think about it, you spent $10 a day to play that game.
Right. When you can go to Redbox and you can spend, I think it's about $3 a day. I think that's what it is. So it's not, I mean, not bad at all.
Not sure.
Because then I rented Assassin's Creed Origins when it came out, and I played it for maybe a day or 2. And I got pretty much halfway through, and I was like, okay, I don't have time for this. But then I just returned it. It's also interesting that the amount of people that still use Redbox. Like, I feel like DVD players are on their way out really quickly.
Yeah, unless you have like an Xbox or a PlayStation.
Yeah. But also TVs nowadays just come built in with Wi-Fi capabilities, and you can just go straight to a Hulu app or a Netflix app.
Roku, their remote literally has Hulu and Netflix buttons. You
Yeah,
press
so does the Samsung remote on the TVs.
Yeah,
They have an Amazon Prime button too.
everything is all
So
becoming new, modern.
the TVs, I guess, have made some kind of deal with these streaming companies to preload their streaming software into the TVs, because now that they can do Wi-Fi, so now it's even cutting out Redbox, and it's cutting out,
Anything physical.
yeah, just anything physical in general, because
That's what a lot of our world is becoming. Like when you go buy something, like 70% of all transactions are online.
yeah,
I made that number up in my head, but I'm sure it's pretty close.
I wouldn't say 70%, but whatever the number is, it's getting bigger and bigger every day.
Yeah, I was gonna say year, but days.
Every day. Remember you could get TVs that had DVD players built into them, or
Yeah.
VHS players built into them.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking,
Those big ass box TVs.
yeah, I mean, I know that Booster still has one of those,
Yeah.
and I remember the TVs that used to have a back,
Mhm.
the back of the TV,
Yeah.
and those things were heavy. Those are some heavy ass TVs, because that glass,
Oh, the glass was like an inch thick.
it was so thick. And there was that one time, because we would play games in the family room, or not the family room, the playroom over there down the hall, and we would just keep that TV on the ground, that old gray TV.
Yeah.
And there was one time I guess we were moving it or something, and Ben, he picked it up, just the front side of it, and he dropped it on my toe. And my toenail, I mean, it hurt so bad. It turned purple and it fell off. I mean, those things are so heavy. And it's not like he just dropped it. He just placed it, almost like he just placed it on my toe and destroyed it. Those things were so heavy.
He dropped a 45-pound dumbbell on his toe in the weight room one time. Remember when his toe was purple?
I kind of remember this. Ben dropped a dumbbell on his toe.
It was a plate.
Oh, he dropped a plate on his toe.
The side of the plate, like the skinny side of the plate.
Where was he?
I think Lifetime. Remember when he used to work out at Lifetime?
Oh, I remember this now. Yes, I do remember this. Yeah, I don't understand how you do that. I really don't, unless the weight's just too much and it slips.
Yeah, that would suck. That would be the worst way. Like, not only am I a bitch and I can't lift the weight, but now I can't lift anything. I can't do leg day for 3 weeks.
Can't walk. Because I was thinking about the whole TV thing. What if TVs decide they want to keep physical media a thing? They could just put DVD players built into like the backside of the TV, like a little slot. You know what I mean?
They can make it vertical.
Exactly.
On the bottom.
Right. So on the bottom, they just put it in the back and you can just slide the disc up. But then streaming companies are like, no, don't do that. Make a deal with us and put streaming straight on the TV. That way there's no physical whatsoever. So CDs are out, DVDs are out, and then now everything is just online. And what's crazy is how fast internet is becoming. Mm-hmm. And how accessible it is.
Remember when like 10 or 15 years ago, and I'm sure there's people way older than us that when the internet was first coming out, it was way worse than this. But like when you press to load a page, it would actually have to load.
It would take a while.
Like nowadays, you just open a new tab and there's a new tab. You used to press new tab and like wait for a new tab. It was probably like a second or two. But like for going through like navigating certain web pages, dude, you would press the button and sit there for a sec.
But now it's just instantaneous.
Yeah, everything's becoming so convenient. And
you know how whenever you try and show a YouTube video to someone and it would have to load, right? So you're like, oh my gosh, look at this video. It's so funny. And then you get like 10 seconds in and it starts buffering. You're like, oh, just wait. It's coming. It's coming. Don't worry. And he goes like 3 or 4 more seconds. It's got to buffer again.
Just drop it. Just drop it.
At that point, just whatever. Moving on.
I'll show you another time whenever I can load it all the way through.
I remember not being that guy trying to show the video, but someone else trying to show it to a group of people and myself being in the group and just feeling sorry for him. Just like, man, I'm sure this is really funny, but it's not happening. I don't know what's wrong with your internet, but that's just how it was. Because now you can just text someone a video and be like, yep, watch this. It's pretty funny. And then they'll just watch it.
Yeah, you think about that. You can send like a 1-minute video, which depending on your like resolution, that could be a gigabyte. And you can send that, let's say it's 1080p, which would make a 1-minute video. Actually, no, that would, I think an hour. Never mind. You can send a 1-minute video instantaneously. Like videos take forever and they're big and bulky.
Yeah.
And they just go through.
It just happens.
The internet is just so crazy. You press a button, your message flies out into space and then flies out to the other person in a matter of 2 seconds.
Okay, Louis C.K.
I'm sorry, but it is a good point. We are so cherished with this good technology.
I don't know if cherish is the right word.
I was trying to find one. I couldn't. We are blessed with this good technology.
We are.
We have amazing.
And everyone takes it for granted.
Everyone takes it for granted.
Yeah. Especially the people that grew up with it. You'll find the people that appreciate it more.
Yeah.
Who are older. Like, wow, I remember when phones were the size of cinder blocks and weighed as much as cinder blocks.
I remember when I don't, but I remember when phones were on the wall.
I remember having a landline where it had like a home base.
Yeah, I remember that. I was just like, I'm saying, I don't remember that. But
oh, okay.
People remember.
Yeah, the phone is just on the wall, right?
Just a quote from Louis C.K.'s thing. No one had their phone. It was just the phone.
It was the phone.
Each house had one phone, and you could buy a cord to make it longer so you could walk further away from it.
And that was the phone.
Hey, I get the phone at 7. Imagine. But
then the phone can't show you funny videos.
Oh, that would suck.
But even going back 10 years and comparing the phones now to 10 years ago, like the iPhone 4.
Most phones, even back then, were like flip phones or Blackberries.
Mostly Blackberries.
It was still changing over. Sorry to cut you off.
Blackberries were on the up and coming, and then they weren't. Just like that. But like if you take one of your old phones and you compare it to the size of your phone now, you're like, how in the world did I even use this?
And it seemed big back then.
It seemed big, and now it's just ridiculous.
It's just getting like a few millimeters bigger every year.
I just remember all the jokes that people would make. I remember when the iPhone 5 came out, and it got a little taller. They just made it taller. And people are making jokes like the iPhone 11, and it's just the size of, I don't know, a building. It's just, they just keep making it bigger. And it's kind of what's happened for the most part.
Yeah.
I wonder if the size of phones will continue to increase.
I'm sure it'll find its equilibrium, but right now it's still in the process of finding it.
How do you feel about the foldable screen phone that Samsung makes?
I was going to mention that. That's a pretty cool technology. I wouldn't get one for myself. I'm not a big Samsung person, but at least Samsung for phone. I prefer iPhones. They're way more, I guess, user-friendly. But that's pretty cool technology. I'm not surprised that it's out. I guess I'm surprised at how fast it came out because, I mean, you literally fold the screen even though it's not a full, like, actual screen.
I remember when it was supposed to come out originally, and it was maybe 2 years ago, but it didn't really work. There was obviously problems with the screen. Like they would just like go black, or there would be like a crease on the screen. So they basically recalled the whole thing and they reworked the whole phone. And I would say recently enough, they sent it back out to the public.
I know it's out right now.
I've never seen someone with one though.
I haven't seen one. I've seen advertisements.
The Samsung Galaxy Fold. Dang, they're like $1,000. That's an expensive phone, but it looks cool. I mean, the only way that I can see how that's useful maybe is just fitting it in your pocket.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just collapsing your phone and making it a little smaller. But then most people kind of get used to having a large phone in their pocket.
Mm-hmm. I've never had a Plus phone, like one of the iPhone Pluses or whatever. I'm not big on the huge phone thing. I know they make an iPhone 12 mini. I wouldn't get the mini either. I think
They make a mini?
Yeah. One of my friends has it, and everyone clowns him.
That's funny.
You fucked up, dude.
You got the mini.
It's like the size of an iPod from like the third gen.
Really?
The small iPods. It's
Wow.
literally a mini.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
I would get just the iPhone 12 Pro. Like I want the upgraded phone, but not the bigger phone.
Right. And I remember getting, in the same sense, people would make fun of me for the iPhone 4 when I was in high school when I had that. They're like, dude, it looks like a Tic Tac in your hand. And I kind of like it. I like having the bigger phone just because
it fits your hand.
it kind of fits my hand a little better than the smaller phones do.
Yeah.
And I was never on board with the big phone in the first place. I was like, oh, that's too much. It'll never fit in my pocket. I was like, nope, I want the smaller one and I'm good.
And now you realize pockets are actually kind of big.
And then pockets, they're not that small.
At least for guys. With girls' pockets fit
Yeah.
like a Tic Tac and that's it.
I don't think I've ever seen a girl ever have the big phone.
I've seen girls have the big phone.
Maybe once. I might have seen one girl ever have the big phone, but I don't think, because they don't know where to put it. It's too big. But then guys' pockets, I mean, whether they're shorts or jeans or whatever, you can just stick them wherever. And there's a place for it if you just want to put it there. But yeah, I'm kind of on board with the big phone. I like it, but then, you know, I say this now, like a little like bigger than this would be too much. I say it now, but I'm sure they'll come out with a bigger phone, and I'll say it's too much, and then I'll hold it.
Yeah, it fits kind of good.
All right, you know what? It's kind of nice. I kind of like it. Whatever. But
You got any fun plans tonight?
do I have fun plans tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna go riverboat gambling.
Wow, that sounds
Yeah.
interesting to say.
I mean, too bad you can't come because you're out of age.
I have something to do.
Oh, you're busy.
Yeah, that's why I asked you so that you would ask me so that I could talk about what I had to say.
When do you turn 20?
Yeah.
You turn 20 in December. Okay.
I was thinking about getting a fake, but I turned 21 in a year and like 5 months.
There's no point.
Yeah, there's no point. The amount of times I would use it, I don't even drink, so.
Right.
I
I was the same way. I was like, it's not even worth my time. I'll just wait.
But I want to try that. I want to get that Russian, not the Russian.
The Rush.
The rum. That cream rum.
Oh, a Russian. What is it called?
I know you're
A
talking
White Russian.
A White Russian.
A White Russian. That's what that's called.
I don't want a White Russian. There was like some like cream rum Ben had one time.
That Blue Chair?
It was like, it tasted like eggnog.
Yeah, Blue Chair makes it. It's like a creamy rum.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's good. It's really sweet.
Is it a liqueur?
I don't know what I think they just call it rum. I mean, it's just like a creamy rum.
Yeah, it's like milk, but like
It
really
looks like it looks like a cross between eggnog and just regular milk.
It's a cross between eggnog and tres leches milk. Even though tres leches is 3 different milks, all 3 of those milks put together with some eggnog and then some alcohol, and holy fuck.
Yeah, you're gonna gain about 5 pounds in the morning if you have more than one glass.
Yeah, it's okay. It was worth it.
Do they make like tres leches milk that you can buy at the store, or is that just horchata?
Dude, horchata is completely different.
Oh, okay.
I think
It's the same flavor almost.
Horchata is like some kind of rice milk.
Okay.
But with tres leches, you just have you.
I know tres leches is the cake, but I'm saying like the tres leches, like could you just buy the milk?
Yeah, it's 3 different kinds of milk. So whenever you make the tres leches, you make like one layer and you soak it in the milk, and then you make another layer and then you put it all together.
Okay. Someone should do that. Someone should just make tres leches
Milk.
in a can or a bottle.
I would buy that. I love tres leches.
But then you'd have to
The tres leches milkshake.
a tres leches milkshake.
I'm in.
Make it.
I will.
Put Shaq on the cover.
Boom. Sales.
Okay, so Shakhtar and tres leches. Drink.
Shack leches.
Shaq leches.
We have the Shakhtar and the Shack leches.
And then it would be a milkshake.
Yeah.
Okay, just make a Shaq leches milkshake.
Shack leches milkshake.
I mean, you already got 2 products now.
Yeah, dude. Who do I got to speak to Shaq?
I mean,
Few people.
if we get our word out enough, he might hear it. He'll say, you know what? Those are some pretty good ideas.
Just wake up from an email or like a text from Shaq.
He's like, I want to know more about this tres leches. The Shaq leches.
That would be awesome.
So you just gotta keep coming up with more stuff.
More Shaq stuff.
More Shaq stuff.
The more things that I come up with, the more things
That he might want.
Like.
Yeah. He might like.
Shakhtar, Shack leches. I don't know.
I mean, really, if you just come up with a good enough idea that someone hasn't already invented, you can just call it Shaq whatever. And be like, hey, are you on board with this? Because
Too bad the Shaq this is already taken.
the Shaq this.
Dude, that was one of the funniest commercials I've ever
Well, I
seen.
mean, it's not that it's taken. You can't go find a Shaq this at a store. What if you made an actual Shaq this and tried to sell it? And you sold them to Walmart or something. You could go find like a
I'm sure that's copyrighted. The Shaq this.
it might be. But what if it's not, though? What if the Shaq this is not copyrighted? Because I've never seen another commercial or another time they would use that quote unquote IP. Because it's just that one commercial. It's just like, don't touch the Shaq this. Did you look up Shaq this?
I said, is Shaq this copyrighted?
Because
Yeah,
Would-
it is.
oh, it is copyrighted.
Yeah.
The Shaq this isn't copyrighted.
Shaquille O'Neal files Shaqness trademark infringement.
Really? So if you use Shaq this in any way, it's considered trademarked.
If you use Shaq in any way,
just Shaq.
just SHAQ. If you use Shaq, that's trademarked.
He trademarked his own name.
What a fucking G.
Gosh.
I want to be on that level,
Where you can trademark your name.
Major. I'm sure that's already taken for a lot of things.
Maybe. It could be.
Anything after what's been made in 2021 is not copyrighted, or is.
Wait, what?
I don't know. Let's move on.
Wait, it said anything made after 2021 is copyrighted.
By Major.
Oh.
Like if you use Major in the thing,
Well, you have to register it.
does
Gotta
it
pay
cost
the
money?
Oh, of course it does. But anyways, because someone's got to process it.
That's true.
But if you were to make the Shactus, would you make it like a plushie, or did you make it like an actual cactus and then you would just carve each one individually?
I would probably make it out of wood and
You make
it
a wooden
a
Shactus.
wood cactus. I would make a real cactus because you gotta think about the longevity. Even though they live a long time, you still probably gotta take care of it. You make a wooden one, that thing's there forever unless it gets burned down.
So you'd make a wooden Shactus.
I would make a
Would you paint it?
I would make a wooden cactus and then I would paint it.
Why not just make it a plushie? I think that'd be easier. Because then what?
Plushy?
Because then it would cost like what, $1, $2 to make it, if you outsource it like a great American does,
That is true.
and then send it back to the States.
I don't know.
I mean, I think your profit margins are there, but then you got to get Shaq on board. Be like, yeah, let's make the Shaq this. So then you get the Shaq Leches and then the Shakhtar. And then you're like, all right, let's just keep rolling. The next thing. You got any ideas, Shaq? Anything you want to make? We'll make it.
You know who they should put in Super Smash Bros?
Who?
Shaq.
What? I was like, I'm not going to guess Shaq. That's too easy. A Shaq mask.
No, hold on.
A Shaq mask.
A Shaq mask. Have you seen them, like, the face masks that, like, for COVID that people have put on where it looks like your actual face or, like, you picking your nose or something like
Yeah,
that?
people are like, put a mask on. You're like, I am, idiot. I've got one on. I still don't know how I feel about that. People always telling you what to do, just in public. Like, put on a mask. Like, I would have put one on if I wanted to.
I actually got told to put a mask. I'm vaccinated, but I went into...
When?
I got... What?
When?
Vaccinated?
Like, when did you go to this place and someone tells you to put on a mask?
Today.
Really? Today?
Yeah, I went to... I got a bunch of missed calls from my bank, and I looked at the voicemails, and it was, like, fraudulent activity on my card, and I was like, well, let's figure this out. So I went to my bank, and I walked in, and she was like... I'm gonna have to. She was holding a box of masks, and I was like, I'll go grab one. And I went out to my truck and grabbed the same blue mask that she was about to hand me. And when I walked back in, I was like, why didn't I just fucking take one from her? But then as I'm standing there, she's like, also, we have to take hats off too in the building. I'm like, you want to see my receding hairline? Like, I'm wearing this hat for me. But
Yeah, it's just so much telling you to put on a mask and take your hat off.
I mean, I get the hats off inside kind of like tradition. Of
Well, no,
respect.
it's not a tradition. It's for the bank. It's for the cameras.
Oh, that is true.
Yeah, so they can identify you if you do anything stupid.
Okay, I'm going to take my hat off, look straight at the camera, make a funny face.
And then put your hat back on.
Put the hat back on. They have identified me. But, yeah, I went up there and they were asking me about certain charges to my card. Like, was this you? Was this not you? I was like, this is all me. Like, one of the most frequent transactions on my card is getting one of those drinks from the gas station, one of those fountain drinks.
Yeah.
One of the fraudulent transactions was one of those. I'm like, look through my fucking history. There are about 400 of those.
And it's for all the same prices, like what? Like
107.
107.
It was one of those. One thing about Shopify for my business, which I can see why that one was a problem. And whenever I was walking in there, I originally thought the fraudulent activity was I started a business with the card that I have with A+, and I probably set that account up like 4 years ago, and I set it up as some kind of like savings account or like a personal something, and I put business on it. I didn't know if they were going to be like, we're taking you to jail. Honestly, that was 25% of my thoughts.
We'll take you to jail because you're not an actual business.
Yeah, because you started a business with a personal card. That's what I thought was going to happen. See, I'm an overthinker. Whenever I think of bad shit, I think of the absolute worst first. Like, my mind immediately jumps to like, well, if I don't pass that tree before this car passes, I'm going to die.
Right?
Yeah.
I know the feeling. But then I always catch myself. Or at least I try to catch myself. Because typically, I won't go to the worst place. I'll say like, you text whoever and they don't respond, and you're like, oh my God. And you're thinking, because it gets past the point where they would normally respond to you,
Yeah.
and you're thinking like, okay, maybe they're just busy.
Yeah.
Some time goes by and you're like, are they dead? Is there something wrong? Should I double text them? Should I say something? Should I call them?
Yeah.
Then I'll stop and be like, just relax. Just, it's okay.
The amount of times I've thought, maybe they're dead.
Maybe they're dead. It was like, I saw them yesterday.
I mean, you never know. Every day, every 7 minutes in America, a car crash happens.
Every 7 minutes?
I think it's every 7 minutes.
Well, let's say car crash. Is it fatal or just a regular crash?
I would say just a regular crash, but
Yeah.
I mean, among that, I would say every one in,
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of people that die on the roads.
yeah.
Yeah, a lot. But it's the same kind of thing. Like, I know that it's so easy to go to the worst place
Mm-hmm. I mean,
whenever you overthink things. But I'm typically not an overthinker. I'm an overthinker in post, but as things are happening, I'm not an overthinker. I'm just more what's happening in front of me, how should I react? And then as time goes by, I'll think about things.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I'll go to like the worst place, but then I'm like, nope, just moving on. It's not good for me, not going to help. Then, next thing.
I had a thought
About overthinking. About car crashes. About
No.
Shaq. About trust
No.
lunches.
No.
Can't hear you. You're a little far away from the mic.
I know. I can't.
Good stretch.
I can't think of anything. I had something to talk about.
Well, you should brainstorm something else for Shaq.
For Shaq?
Shaq-shaped eggs.
That'd be pretty hard.
Not shaped like Shaq, but just Shaq's head. You can make a Shaq head egg. Or at least like a chocolate egg.
Like put his face on the egg.
Yeah, make his face the egg.
You said a chocolate egg.
Chocolate egg, yeah.
It's kind of racist.
A chocolate, okay, it could be a white chocolate egg. I don't care.
A white Shaq. That's racist.
No, it's not. It could be a raspberry or an orange chocolate.
That's fruitist.
It's fruitist.
We live in a post-joke world.
I love that so much. We live in a post-joke world. You can't say that.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about Family Guy is they mock real things. Like,
Yeah, it's just
even though a lot of TV shows do that, they mock they
just
make
the stupidest things. Like our culture is so backwards.
stupid.
Yeah.
We are warped.
Enough said. Just I don't want to go down that road. I really don't. I don't have the capacity. I don't have the energy to just rip into everything that just doesn't make any sense. But
I could.
go for it. I'll just sit here and watch you. Start with the joke thing.
The joke thing?
Yeah, we live in a post-joke world where you can't say a joke because
It's not a joke.
yeah, like it doesn't matter what you say, even if you think it's a joke. If it hurts someone's feelings or makes someone feel offended, then you're in the wrong 100% of the time.
Yeah, see, that's the problem right there.
I'll cut you off real quick. Who was it? It was Ricky Gervais. He was like, how arrogant do you have to be to think that you can just go through life without being offended by anything, and that if anything offends you, you're the victim, and that you're in the right, and you're in the position to try and shut someone down because you got offended, right? It didn't make any sense. I mean, if you get offended, and I feel like in a lot of cases it might be a fault of your own to get that worked up about something. It just like, I know that people say sticks and stones, that whole deal.
Mm-hmm.
Words can hurt, but they only hurt if you let them hurt.
Yeah, I was literally going to say that. Something can only hurt your feelings if you let it hurt your feelings. And that may not make sense to some people, but it's really true. Like, if someone is trying to hurt your feelings and you can notice that they're being a dick on purpose,
Well, yeah, they're assholes.
you can't be mad at that. It comes back to the point we've said a million times, you can't control other people. And then once again, all of my thoughts just leave my brain.
I can visually see them fleeting. They're coming out of your ears.
I got headphones on my ears.
Well, they're like going through like the little mesh right there. Yeah, they're just like kind of squeaking out like a turtle head.
Just read the words, man.
Just read the words.
I mean, letters are coming out. Put them together.
Exactly.
Would you rather? Would you rather ride a lime scooter everywhere you go or ride a horse?
I feel like the horse would be more economical, but then you got to feed it. And where are you going to park it?
And wash it.
You got to take care of that horse. And that's a lot of work, though. But then again, it is a horse.
That is true.
It's a horse. And then the lime scooter, depending where you are, max speed,
15.
I think it's 15 miles an hour.
Yeah.
That horse can book it. That horse can go.
You get a Mustang. like an actual, like that's like what a horse, like the original horses were kind of thing.
Well,
That's
do
a
you know what the
breed.
definition of a Mustang is?
It's a breed of horse.
No. A Mustang is a wild horse. A Mustang is just a horse out on reservation being
It's wild.
a wild horse is a Mustang, yes. So that's all a Mustang is, just freedom. Just America. Basically you could just replace the United States with Mustang.
There
It
you
is.
go. Freedom.
The United States of Mustang. Freedom. And bald eagles.
The United Mustangs.
The United Mustangs of America. We're all Mustangs.
If you had to pick one food item,
One food. Okay.
one fast food item to
What?
describe America,
Hot dog. Full of garbage. And tastes awesome.
yeah, I'm on board for that one.
Because then and you know what? The way that the United States is just a melting pot of literally every culture on the planet. You can dress up that hot dog with whatever you want. You can put relish, mustard, tomatoes. I mean, you've seen all the different types of hot dogs you can get.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of different styles of hot dog, especially with the Northeast.
Mm-hmm.
You can put chili on it. You can get chili dogs. You can put queso on it.
I've never had a chili cheese dog.
I don't think I ever have either.
We're weird to a lot of people.
We are, but everyone's weird to everyone.
That is true.
So,
Like, you're weird because you still eat your boogers.
and you're weird because you still pick your butt.
Enough said.
But I don't feel the need to try a chili cheese dog at this moment. There's always also that one place that I've always driven by, and there's only one location that I can ever think of, and I've only ever seen one of them, Wiener Schnitzel.
Yeah, I've only seen one of those.
One. Like, I feel like there's only one on the planet, and it's just,
really old,
it is old.
so it's going away.
I'm curious about the people who eat at Wiener Schnitzel.
Isn't that like right off Breaker?
Yeah. Or the soccer stadium.
Stadium.
Yeah. And I guess they just serve hot dogs. Because then you can go to Sonic and you can get a hot dog too. Remember the conies that they do?
Yeah, never had I've had food from Sonic, I think once, and it was a really long time ago. I've had tater tots recently.
Yep.
But I've never had like a burger, I think.
Yeah, who bought Sonic?
Walmart.
Arby's.
You're capping.
No, I'm telling you right now.
So
This was about a year and a half ago. Maybe no. This was 2 years ago. Summer of 19, I want to say. Arby's bought Sonic. I think it was a big buyout. It was worth a lot of money. And then I was like, who is eating at Arby's enough for them to be able to make that purchase? Arby's buys Sonic. Arby's and Buffalo Wild Wings owner. Oh, Arby's and Buffalo Wild Wings are the same company.
Oh.
Inspire Brands. They operate Arby's and Buffalo Wild Wings is purchasing Sonic for, listen, $2.3 billion.
Sonic was worth $2.3 billion.
They bought Sonic for $2.3 billion.
I mean, you got to think about annual revenue from Sonic. Their revenue is well in the 100 millions.
I don't know how
year.
much. I don't know how big Sonic is. I don't know if it's just a regional thing because I know that there's Sonic all over Texas. But good grief, almost not almost three, but $2.3 billion.
From 2015 to 2018, annually, Sonic made 600 million, 600 million, 475, 423. So basically, in 5 years, they make their money back from that purchase.
I knew that Sonic was popular, but I didn't realize they were that popular.
Sonic, I mean, they are kind of a revolutionary kind of. They were I think the first to do like the drive-in.
No, they weren't the first, but you could say that they perfected the craft.
That is true. The rollerblades. I've seen too many videos of those people that just like drop the food or throw it on the car.
Yeah, those are funny. But then you get mad at that person. Like, what if they just started rollerblading a week ago? And it was their, third day on the job. And they drop all your food on the hood of your car. Do you think they get fired for that?
I bet they get strikes. Like,
They
all
get
right, you drop food 2 more times, you're fucking out of here.
like, you think, well, let's see, the original prototype of the chain for Sonic opened in 1953 in Oklahoma. That was a while ago. It was named Top Hat Drive-In. In 56, the first franchise opened in Oklahoma. The Stillwater franchise drive-in was constructed and operated in 58. So they've been around for a long time, but I know that that drive-in style had been around for a while. If you ever watched that documentary called Founder,
I thought you were going to say The Dirt.
and I know you haven't watched it yet, and we've been talking about this for almost 2 weeks, but anyways, Founder, where Michael Keaton plays Ray Kroc, the quote-unquote founder of McDonald's. Interesting story. You should watch it. One of the things that Ray Kroc noticed, because he initially started as an ice cream machine, like a milkshake machine salesman. So he would go to these burger joints and try and sell them milkshake machines.
That's how McDonald's started, or like the founder?
Well, Ray Kroc, that's what he did. But then he came across this restaurant called.
I was gonna say that's really ironic that he sold ice cream machines.
No, but he came across McDonald's, and it was based out of a smaller town in California. I want to say it was probably pretty close to LA in that area, but I forget the name of it. And he fell in love basically with the format because it was the first where you would just walk up to the window and order and they'd give you your food. Because back then all the rage was drive-in and people linger and hang out and that whole deal. But McDonald's was just like, cook your burger, cook your food, your fries, get it to you as fast as you can. And they're just all about efficiency. And he was like, I am on board with this. And basically he kind of weaseled his way in there, started his own franchise. And he started making more and more franchises, putting McDonald's in Iowa and New York and Ohio, and kind of just stole the franchise away, or just stole the company away from the guys who actually founded McDonald's. Kind of a sad story, kind of towards the end.
Wow.
But yeah, he was kind of a douche.
Kind of a shitbag.
But he was worth a lot of freaking money, and he did it with basically no morality. I mean, it kind of takes that kind of person to do something like that. Because you think about all those people that make so much money, you got to think about how many people's necks they've stepped on to get to that point.
Decisions.
Just cutting people out that, like in the case of Facebook.
Yeah.
You ever watch the Social Network?
I didn't watch the documentary, but I know about it.
Where Mark Zuckerberg started Facebook, basically him and his partner Eduardo. And Eduardo pretty much funded the whole thing while they were at Stanford. And so I don't think Mark came from a bunch of money, but I think he had enough to be able to go to Stanford. Or maybe he was on a full scholarship. I'm not sure. But that's not important.
He's got an IQ of 152. So.
Yeah, he was smart enough to be at Stanford, but that's not the point. Eduardo came from money, and he had money, and he helped fund the Facebook when it was called the Facebook. And over time, they had their conflicts, sure, and even through legal proceedings coming from the Winklevoss twins about how Mark stole their idea to create this website, and everything eventually fell through and shifted towards Mark's favor because I think they just settled. He paid them X amount of money just to say, make it go away. But in hindsight, looking back now, it was just a drop in the bucket because obviously he's multi-billionaire. He cuts out Eduardo basically towards the end of the movie as it plays out in the story. I think they had already left Stanford and they were already, I don't know if Eduardo was done, but Mark definitely was. And through more contracts they were signing as Facebook was getting bigger and bigger, basically I think Eduardo's ownership in Facebook was probably around 30-40%. And then there was some point where he was signing contracts because they were expanding, and Mark cut him down to about 0.3% ownership.
But I mean, if you think about it, 0.3% of Facebook is millions.
Well, yeah, it is now. And but think about it. You had what, 30-40%, and now you have 0.3%?
Yeah, it's kind of fucked up.
Right. And so I think they ended up figuring the whole deal out, and Eduardo kind of got his fair share of what he contributed to Facebook. But whenever the initial proceedings were happening, when because at the time Mark was being sued by two different people when they were making where the movie was taking place. He was being sued by the Winklevoss twins for stealing their idea, but also simultaneously being sued by Eduardo for cutting him out of a company that he rightfully had ownership in.
Damn.
Yeah.
Bitch.
And he just took it on the chin and said, I'm Mark Zuckerberg. I can do this.
The Zuck.
The Zuck. And so now that's kind of how he's at where he's at, because he doesn't mind stepping on people and getting to that point. Because I feel like it takes a real sociopath or a psychopath to do that.
Or just a pure fucking desire to bull.
I mean, to a friend, to a longtime friend.
Yeah, that's actually
It's messed up. I mean, if you think about it, but then you think, like, what are your morals? Like, what do you really care about?
people's data.
He's gonna get it. Better not be on Facebook.
He already has it, actually.
Yeah, he's got some of mine too. But you know what? When I created my Facebook account when I was in 5th grade, there is no way I was being honest about anything I put in there. So
Oh yeah, you had to be 21.
was it 21? I think it was like 16 or 18 or something.
It was at least 18.
It was at least 18 to be on Facebook. Maybe.
And actually, whenever I made my first Facebook account, probably like 6th grade or 7th grade for like a video game or something like that, Major was not a name. Major is not a name according to Facebook. And so I had a Facebook account called Majori.
I remember this. They were like, please use a real name.
Yeah, nicknames aren't allowed. I'm like, well, fuck you.
That's my name.
But,
what if you try to make a Facebook account now with the name Major, if it would work?
let me finish my fucking story. Yeah, so the other day I was making for my business so I could run ads on Facebook. I had to make a business Facebook account, and so I put Major subject, and they were like, please use your real name. And I was like, 10 years later, and y'all still haven't figured this out.
And it's, oh my gosh.
So I go
I wonder how many other people that's happened to that have unique names.
I'm sure there's at least like 1,000 other majors out there that
They're like, screw you.
just use my middle name now.
Because I think you made an Alexander subject.
Yeah.
And then I was like, why don't you just put an E at the end and see if that works? Majori. And it worked.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's a different way to spell Marjorie. I think it might be Marjorie. Because that's a real name.
Marjorie.
That's an old name, though.
If I was a girl, I would be named Marjorie.
I think Marjorie is like probably a common name from 60s, 70s, 80s in there. I haven't heard of Marjorie in a long time.
Marge.
Marge. But maybe that's short for Margaret.
Yeah.
Is it?
Marge is probably short for Margaret, I would assume.
Is it short for Margaret? Or Margarita? Maggie. Okay, so maybe Marge. Oh, Marge is short for Margaret. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. In most cases, not all cases.
I'm still looking at Sonic's revenue. $600 million in one fucking year. You probably pay like...
But they're probably are they publicly traded? Can you buy Sonic stock? Because then there's the possibility that they're fudging their numbers. Because that's a real thing. And it always will be a real thing. I think Sonic is publicly traded. Or maybe it's not. I think it is, though.
Sonic has been publicly traded since 91.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So
So,
that's where they get a lot of their money.
well, yeah. But also at the same time, they have to release how much money they're making to their shareholders.
Mm-hmm.
So that it looks like they're turning a profit, right? Because their number one opportunity, or not their number one responsibility, is to make their shareholders happy. So I'm not saying that every single company that is publicly traded fudges their numbers to look better, but it happens, and it's happening right now. And it will continue to happen until there is no longer a stock market. Not going to say that's the cause of the stock market collapsing, but as long as there is a stock market, people will lie about how much money they're making.
I'm looking at the most unhealthy thing you can order from every fast food restaurant.
I'm going to guess the chili cheese dog is the worst thing you can order from Sonic. But what do you see?
Chick-fil-A's is their hand-spun Oreo milkshake.
Yep.
But that would make sense on why. Arby's is the meatball toasted sub.
The meatball toasted sub. Remember when I got the meat mountain?
Yeah.
Were you there?
I wasn't there.
You weren't there. I just told you about it. Yeah, it's a secret menu item you can get from Arby's. They put every single piece of meat they have on one sandwich. And let me tell you, I was full. I mean, they put turkey, ham, bacon, roast beef, chicken tenders, meatball, the whole works.
And a rib.
Oh, yeah. And I remember there was a rib on there. And it was a big O sandwich. And it wasn't cheap either. I think it was like a $15 sandwich. But they put everything that they had. That's one of those secret menu items that I learned about years ago. The Meat Mountain. Go check it out. I do recommend trying it at least once. You see anything else?
The In-N-Out double.
Ooh, that's up there? Man, I like those too much.
Everyone loves the double.
Yeah.
A lot of these are shakes.
Because it's usually just, a burger joint's milkshake or Chick-fil-A's milkshake.
Yeah.
But In-N-Out does milkshakes. But the double is, someone thinks that's the worst thing that you can order for you.
As of course, Sonic's is going to be a milkshake, but it's the large peanut butter cookie dough Dream Master Blast, and it has 2,300 calories.
Oh my gosh!
There's actually
Master Blast.
There's actually an illegal milkshake in the United States.
Illegal?
Yeah, I think it was made by Sonic. It was like some kind of Oreo. I need to find
Oreo Dream Master Blast.
Honestly, that probably was it, because I know it was an Oreo milkshake kind of thing.
Something that I miss getting from Sonic that I haven't had probably in a decade are the chocolate malt shakes that you can get. Remember getting those? They taste like Whoppers.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Whoopers.
I like Whoppers. I really do. I can understand why you don't like them, but I have always loved Whoppers, especially when you can go to the grocery store and they have those little bins of nuts and all kinds of stuff. You get the little scooper shovel and you put it in a bag and then you weigh it based on the PLU code and you pay for what you're picking up. They would have these chocolate, peanut butter, malt balls. And as a kid, I would just stick my hand in there and I'd grab like 6, put them in my pocket and walk around the store and eat them. They were amazing.
You just admitted to a crime.
Shout out to HEB.
KFC is the chicken pot pie. I haven't had a chicken pot pie or like any kind of pot pie in a long time. You ever go to Boomerangs?
Boomerangs?
Do you remember Boomerangs? They made pot pies.
It sounds familiar.
It was down off like Guad by like 35th.
I definitely never had it before.
I've had it one time. I remember Dad got Boomerangs one time. I was like riding with him while he was doing jobs.
You ever had Fat Sal's?
Have not.
But they're no longer there.
Dang.
They were so good. They make these giant toasted subs. It was loaded. They put like French fries inside the sub. It was super good.
You ever had Dirty Martin's?
Long time ago, one time.
Yeah. I remember the first time Dad took me there. He was like, this is where I would come after my 4th grade football games. And I always thought that was one cool thing that like Mom and Dad would do. Be like, I remember when this was this or
right.
that was that.
I remember Dirty's has been around since I think the 20s.
It's been around for a while.
Long time. And then the Frisco. Remember the Frisco?
Don't.
Anyways, another burger joint that's been around for a long time. But those places are going away as the Whataburgers go up and the In-N-Outs go up. I'm actually surprised Dirty's has stayed in business, or if they are in business at all, because they completely shut down during COVID. Like they were doing nothing. I don't even think they're still doing anything today.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, I think Dirty's is out of business.
COVID did do that to a lot of local and small businesses.
Lots.
Unless it was that like tradition of a local restaurant. Pretty much all local restaurants got
a
bit in the butt.
I mean, it's been ugly. I mean, seeing everything go under, but it's just cleaning a lot of the dead weight out.
That is true.
And so then, maybe businesses that at the moment might have been slacking a little bit and that could have grown, that didn't need to go under the way that they did. Makes sense. But all that stuff that got cleared out from everyone going out of business kind of opens up the idea open up the possibility for new companies, new businesses, new ideas.
Yeah.
Give me the eyes, huh?
I'm giving you the eyes.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go and get a a chocolate malt from Sonic.
I'm gonna go get the Oreo Master Blaster.
The Oreo Master Blaster.
Go eat a whole day's worth of calories in one milkshake.
Would you rather have an Oreo or a Reese's shake?
Are the Reese's broken up or are they?
Yeah, just like crumbled Reese's.
That is really tough. Oreo is probably my favorite milkshake, but Reese's like peanut butter cups are my favorite candy.
Reese's are your favorite candy?
Fuck yes, I could eat like the mini unwrapped ones.
Oh yeah. Do you like Butterfinger?
I haven't had a Butterfinger in a while. Butterfinger's still good though.
Do you like Three Musketeers?
Used to be one of my favorites. Same thing with Milky Way.
Milky Way is good. Do you like Snickers?
I'm not a big fan of peanuts. Like in
Candy? So you don't like Payday?
ironically, I do kind of like.
I like Payday, and I can get why you don't like it. But I just do. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it.
I kind of do. I don't mind one because then I guess with those the main gist is peanuts with
Caramel.
yeah peanuts and caramel.
There's just something about caramel and a candy bar that I cannot resist. If it's caramel anything.
Fatty.
I'm just a sucker for caramel. I don't know what to tell you. And just chocolate caramel together. Ooh, like caramello. Do like those?
Yeah. I like butterscotch.
Yeah, I kind of do. I mean,
It's
every once in a while, if I just have one, if I got nothing going on, just
old person hands you one.
yeah, look at those little strawberry wrap things.
What? Where do you find those?
I don't know. Probably like Hobby Lobby or something.
Everyone knows. Everyone's had one. They're like the strawberry package.
And it looks like a pineapple almost.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I remember those. Those are fire.
But I'll tell you what, though, whenever I go to like a Tex-Mex restaurant or Mexican restaurant or wherever, what kind of restaurant, and they have mints. If they have the key lime mints, those are my favorite. It's like the green and white ones. You know what I'm talking about? They're in the shape of peppermints.
I know what you're talking about.
They're just like they're green and white, and it tastes like key lime pie, and it's awesome. Those are my favorite.
I like I think Chick-fil-A still does them. The Chick-fil-A mints, like the powder
Oh,
mints.
yeah.
Those are good.
What are they? They're like
Chalk.
butter mints. Yeah, they're very chalky. Yeah,
If you've ever eaten a stick of chalk, you'll know exactly what we're talking
exactly. Or crowns. It's kind of the same thing as a crown.
about. Would you rather eat a box of chalk or a box of crowns?
Crowns because they go down easier. Crunching on chalk does not sound like fun.
You can get that stuck in your teeth.
Okay.
And
Well,
have indigestion for like 3 weeks.
at least your poop will be multiple colors.
Could set a Guinness World Record. Most colorful shit.
Rainbow poo. All right, with that.
Yep.
Yeah, we're good. That is it.
Have a good one, ladies and gentlemen.
We're done for the evening. So sorry. It's okay. We'll be back tomorrow.
I have a headache.
You have a headache. How?
I don't know. It's like right in the front.
Maybe it's because all those thoughts are just spilling out of your forehead right now.
So much insurance.